What's up, web slingers and wall crawlers? How are you guys doing today? Guys, if you all don't know, if you're a personal friend of mine or if you're just a fan, by now you would know I love Spider-Man. I mean, for goodness sake. I have 3 Spider-Man games right here. I have The Amazing Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man the original from with Tobey Maguire in it, Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. There we go. I even have the very first 2 Spider-Man games that I ever played as a kid that came out on the PlayStation 1. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man has been an important part of my life ever since I was a kid. It being the very first superhero game that I ever played, him being like the very first ever superhero I ever loved. Spider-Man is an important part of my life. So of course, I'm gonna go watch Spider-Man Homecoming. And for those who know me very well, this probably won't surprise you. I love this movie, but it does have its issues. But I'm just gonna tell you right now, this is a fun film. It is a fun high school Spider-Man movie, and I'm gonna go into that. Now, I'm going to try my best to not give spoilers, but if I do, just know that you have been warned. I may slip up and give some spoilers, but I have a purpose for it. So, here we go, guys. Welcome to the Impact Zone. We're going to talk about Spider-Man Homecoming. So, what I liked about this film. First, actors. Tom Holland. Now, throughout the years, we have had either Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield do a job of playing either a good Peter Parker or a really good Spider-Man, but not being able to balance the two. With here, Tom Holland reprises his role as Spider-Man from Civil War, and he does a magnificent job of playing both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I really feel like he is what Spider-Man would be like in real life. Another actor, Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton does a phenomenal job of playing the character Adrian Toomes, aka the Vulture. Now, they could have had Vulture be just like how he was in this game, where he's pretty much just a criminal. He's the Vulture. He just does bad guy things. But with this, they actually give Vulture a character arc. You understand, this movie gives you a reason to understand why Vulture's doing the things that he's doing. It gives you a reason to go, okay, I feel for you. We understand why you're having to do these things. We don't agree with it, but we understand it. This movie has a lot of good actors with it. This movie is a very humorous movie. Story. Now, I may lose you guys on the story right now, but I'm going to just tell you about why I like the story. I believe that this story hits the nail on the head with honestly giving us a film where we get Peter Parker as Peter Parker and not much as Spider-Man. This movie is more about Peter Parker learning how to become the real Spider-Man, and that he doesn't need the suit to be a hero. And that was one of the things I really liked about this movie. Now, this is probably going to be the only thing that I spoil. If any of you haven't seen the trailers, which is actually probably a good thing, there is a line in the film where Tony Stark says, I'm going to need the suit back, and Peter is like, but I'm nothing without this suit. And Tony's like, if you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it. And that's the point of this movie. This movie is trying to show us that Peter doesn't need the suit to be Spider-Man, just like how Bruce doesn't need the Batman suit to be Batman, or how Tommy Oliver from Power Rangers Dino Thunder doesn't need the Dino Gems or doesn't need the power to be a Power Ranger. They are what make them who they are. Peter is why he is Spider-Man. Batman is why he is Batman. They don't need the suits to make them that. And that's what this movie does really well. It shows us that Peter is Spider-Man, not the suit. And I feel like that was done really well. This movie also actually answers some questions about like what would Spider-Man do if he was in an area where he couldn't shoot his webs, or not really not shoot his webs, but where he would shoot his webs and they wouldn't hit anywhere. So what do? They do give us some sections where Peter is actually in the Spider-Man suit running and jumping off house rooftops or running across a golf course because it sucked. There was no place for him to spin his webs, and he says, this sucks. So, but I honestly did not mind them doing that. Now, as for things I did not like, I did not like how the character of a certain villain was treated, because in this film, the villain is kind of treated more as a mantle than the actual villain, and it kind of gets the treatment of Rhino from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, just the acting is not hammed up to a degree. I also, now this is another thing. Peter Parker is smart. Very smart. Heck, that's probably why the reason he goes to the science school he goes to. Okay, anybody who knows this, why is Flash Thompson going to that school? Somebody answer me that. I don't understand it. I've always thought Flash Thompson was dumb. Or not, somewhat smart, but more of a jock. I personally did not like the way that they did Flash Thompson. They tried to have him as a bully, but it just didn't work. I mean, if you want a good version of Flash Thompson, honestly, The Amazing Spider-Man. This has a really good version of Flash Thompson. Heck, even this has a good version of Flash Thompson. Even this! And this only had 1 season! This made it for 2! But this movie, I did not like the way how they did Flash Thompson, and I'm just going to tell you right now, if any of you have seen the movie, it has nothing to do with the fact of his skin color. I just didn't like the actor's height, I guess, because Flash has always been taller than Peter, and the fact like they kind of made him on his height level, this Flash wasn't really intimidating. And Flash is not normally supposed to be intimidating, but the fact of the matter is that he always has been a jock, a brute, and they did not do that with this film, and I just didn't care for it. And I was like, oh no, that's not Flash, that's not Flash, it hurts, it hurts. Another thing that I didn't like about, I'm sorry that I ranted, I completely went off topic, but back to the whole thing about Peter being smart. He has his friend Ned, and one of the things that I kind of didn't like in this film is the fact that Ned is the one who kind of takes he actually does take the safety training wheels protocol off Peter's suit, and I was like, now why didn't they have Peter do that? Because Peter is smart. He is like, according to this film, he is the second smartest kid in that school. And I felt that he was smart, but the fact that he at least didn't do that kind of bugged me. However, we did get a scene where they do show us how he actually makes the web fluid, whereas in this, Oscorp is the one who develops the web fluid. He just steals it, and I guess he eventually copies it, or he just keeps stealing it. I don't know. But I did like how they did that. That had a nice little hint. Now, one other thing that they do not do in this movie, and they kind of rely on the suit to do this, and I'm sorry that this is another spoiler, we really don't get Spider-Man's spider sense, at least. I mean, they have acknowledged that he has it, but they're not using it to the degree that they do in this series or in this one. So other than that, that was kind of only really the things that I didn't like in this film. I do like how this is focused more on Peter when he's in high school, showing us what he's going through, his problems. He has problems. He is a high school kid after all. He's freaking 15. I liked the role that Tony Stark played in this movie. I thought it was a really interesting and a really good way to use the character of Iron Man. I really liked how he was kind of playing the father figure to Peter that Peter really doesn't have. I liked how they had Aunt May and her doing the mother figure that she has. It doesn't bother me that we have a young Aunt May. I'm actually kind of glad that we have a young Aunt May. I love the people who played Aunt May in the other 2 films, but I really do like how in this one she is playing that mother role, because she gets on to Peter at one point in the movie. She's like, I've called you. I've called 5 different police stations. Where were you? And I was like, okay, that is Aunt May, and I really thought that she was a good rendition to the film. There was also a reveal in the film that I really didn't like, or at least how the way that they did it. And this is my message to the people who are making this film. I understand that you want to build your own universe, but for all, or at least for me or some other fans, guys, slow down. Slow your rolls, because you don't want to do this again. And what I mean is there is a nod at the end of the film where we have a character come up to the Vulture and he's like, hey, I've got some guys in here who would love to put Spider-Man's head on a stick. And I was like, no, not again. There's a hint to Sinister Six in this film. Now, I'm all for that. Just hold on before you guys get your web shooters and your pumpkin bombs and your carnage tendrils. Before you start trying to kill me, hear me out. When The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was done, or when it was about to come out, they were like, we're going to be doing a Sinister Six movie. And everyone was like, oh yeah, Sinister Six, it's gonna be great. What happened? It never happened. And that's why I'm saying, guys, slow down. Let us just enjoy what we have for now. We're getting Venom. Focus on that. And then after that, maybe focus on the second movie. Do not do what that film did, and do not do what Iron Man 2 did and saying, hey, we're getting Avengers 2. Hey, we're getting Sinister Six. Sinister Six. Sinister Six. Sinister Six. I don't want you to do what Brock Lesnar did to John Cena when he suplexed him 16 times and practically beat us over the head with the fact that we are going to be getting a Sinister Six film. Slow down and just let us enjoy what we have for now with this film. This film is fun. Guys, I'm going to give Spider-Man Homecoming a B. There wasn't that much that I didn't like about it, but this was a fun film to enjoy. The after credit scene is fun. Stay after that as well. And also, one of my favorite video game actors is in this film, and he's not playing the villain that I want him to play. Oh my gosh, I was so disappointed with that. But guys, I hope that you are having a good day. Go watch this film. And you know what? If you've already watched the film and you want something to do, if you have any way of getting access, play this game. It's cheesy, it's easy, but it's fun. Or give these two a try. Mainly this one. This one is a fun game to play. Or go like the GameCube route or the PS2 route. Play Ultimate Spider-Man. This is a fun game too. Go watch other Spider-Man things. Guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Phenomenal Reviews. Put in the comments below, if you have watched Spider-Man Homecoming, what did you think about it? What are your plans or what are your hopes for the future for this movie or this franchise? I really want to know. Guys, thank you for sticking around. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Phenomenal Reviews in the Impact Zone. I love it. Thank you for joining me, guys. Have a good day, because we're going to be getting something soon. Have a good day, guys.